Hi there, Manchester University Careers Service here. My name is Adam, I am one of the careers consultants as part of the careers team, and in this series of videos we're going to be looking at psychometric tests. A whole series of questions we're going to be answered about what they are, how to navigate them. We know that students and graduates are coming up against them quite often, and there's not a lot of information out there about how to tackle them. So in this series we're going to be looking at all those sorts of things. Specifically, we'll touch on what they actually are, who is using them and why, which actual companies use them. We'll look at some actual real examples from all the different sorts of tests, whether it's numerical, verbal reasoning, whatever it might be, and the kind of thing that you would have to come up against if you're going to take one of these tests. And we're going to finish with some tips, strategies, and then some free ways to get some practice, because practice is probably the most important thing in all of this. It's the way to get better, and particularly with psychometric tests, it is the only way to get past them. Practice and getting better. Now, when you hear psychometric tests, those words, there's a number of things you could be thinking of, whether it's reasoning, verbal or numerical or logical, strengths, personality, situational judgment. Those words encompass all these types of different tests, and there's lots of different ones. So the key for you when you are told that you are going to be taking a psychometric test, or there's one as part of the recruitment process, you need to find out what sort of psychometric test that is, because there are different ways that you might prepare for them and different things that you're just going to need to bear in mind depending on the type of test you're going to be coming up against. In this series, we're going to look quite specifically at situational judgment and games-based, and then we'll look at the others, verbal and numerical reasoning tests, and how to practice those. Because when it comes to these sorts of tests, that's the silver bullet. That's what's going to help you. Now, you might think, well, I'm not going to come up against these, but the truth is, there are over 100 companies that we know of now, and it's growing every year, that use psychometric tests. It's becoming more and more common. They're using all sorts of different ones, and those psychometric tests are changing basically year to year. The most recent data that we have shows that more and more companies are using them more and more, and you'll see on this slide the most popular at the moment are numerical reasoning, situational judgment tests, and we're also seeing a rise in all the other tests, particularly verbal reasoning, games-based assessment, strengths-based. So all of this is growing. Personality, motivation, that tends to be less common, but it is something that you might have to deal with in a recruitment process, so at least being aware of them is really important. That brings us to the end of the beginning. In the next video, we'll be looking in more detail at situational judgment tests, what they are, how to prepare for them, all that sort of stuff. If you could do the usual, like, subscribe to the channel, that will help us grow the channel, reach more students, reach more graduates. We'd really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video.